Track and field has been a staple at Eastern Michigan for almost a century. The men's program has the most indoor and outdoor Mid-American Conference championships despite not competing in the league until the 1972-73 season. EMU has had a track representative at every Summer Olympic Games since Hayes Jones in 1960. In total, the Eagles have had 19 representatives in 61 years, 16 men and 3 women. Runners and jumpers have stolen the spotlight throughout the team's histories. Yet this past season, it was the throwers making a big splash. 3 throwers on the men's side broke the previous hammer throw record. Katie and Clark set 3 records alone. However, this story is about the first Eagle thrower to be named a Division I All-American in the outdoor season. Taige Bryant. Feeling confident?
Very.
Growing up in the Bryant household may sound normal to you and I, but what is it like when your dad is Mark Bryant, former NBA first-round pick and current assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns? Taige tells us what it's like to have a 15-year pro at home and how it influenced his athletic career.
It's just like a ton of knowledge. So you get to like ask him about any stories, like anything that happens in the league, and he just like tells you about it. But other than that, like he has a job. It doesn't really differ too much from that. But at the same time, he travels a little bit, comes back home, we see him eat dinner, like talk to him. It's like the same thing, but for the most part, I mean, it's not too different.
Was there like a moment when you were a kid where you kind of realized you're like, wait, my dad is kind of different than like my classmates?
Yeah, he's a taller guy for one, so he came in during like at a press conference for the little, not press conference, but the family teacher conferences, and they're like, how tall is your dad? And we're just, oh, he's 6'9". And they're like, that's not normal. It's like, well, it's kind of normal to us. We don't see anything different from it. And you realize, like, yeah, he's a noticeable figure as far as height, like just, and then you kind of talk to him a bit more and you're like, oh, he's played before. But he's very humble about it, so you wouldn't really know.
Do you feel like having a professional athlete as a parent influenced you at all throughout your athletic career?
And you kind of like start to pick up like, oh, that's like hard work all the time. Like, it's gonna start building up at some point. So that's kind of like, you understand the level up kind of process. It's a lot of work behind it. But you get that from having a professional athlete as a dad.
Did he like ever coach you or train you, or did he kind of always leave that to someone else?
There was like when we were younger, he was more so hands-on with us, but as we got older, he just let us play. So that was always great. And he'd be at the games a couple of times, but like he just let us play. Grew up kind of just laid back, not really too much going on as far as like a football player goes, but like for basketball and track, I was like 100% sold. So that kind of built up within themselves through high school. In high school at the time, picking colleges, and that's when I decided to go with track. But up until then, I've been playing multiple sports for a minute.
Having participated in multiple sports growing up, Taige didn't discover track and field until high school. At the time, he had no idea where it would take him.
I didn't really take track all that serious until sophomore year of high school. So freshman was kind of just like, I don't think I made the basketball team that year. My freshman year coming in, and I was just like, man, I need something to do. And then I just went ahead and picked up track for the following year, and next thing you know, I was back the next year to do it. And then basketball started working itself in with that.
Were you always a thrower, or did you try other things early on?
So I was like, I wanted to do long jump a little bit, but it started turning more into throwing as far as like where I was probably gonna be better off at for the remaining years.
When was that moment when you realized that like throwing could take you pretty far as far as like just investing directly into that?
I would say at a state championship my senior year, and I think that was like top 3 in the school's history, and our school is pretty decent at the throws, right? I was like, even in high school, like considering the last 3 or 4 years, we just had like 2 or 3 guys go like D1 scholarship. So it was like, this is a nice little school to build yourself up in.
Did you have, like, were you looking at other schools, or was it just Eastern from the get-go?
So there was like 2 track schools that I was looking at that if I went, I was gonna do track. And then there was 2 schools that I kind of looked at where just 100% academics. And it started funneling out a little bit, and next thing you know, Eastern was top of the choice.